Was someone here? Okay, I don't know. Someone was here.
Anyone know the secret code?
Isn't it for group projects you get to have like 3 STPs as well?
We don't know.
Oh, we kind of play that. We had a little class on
You are in F7 if you want to go front team.
Yep. Finn, Yaxla, JKS.
Then you're in N4, which is on the right side. And you
N4.
go to airport just for your name.
Same class, so it's here, right here.
Just remember
This one?
This one. Yeah.
You're also going to be in N4, but you will get your
N4.
seat.
Okay, thank you.
And you don't pronounce the D at the end.
So this one? Anyone?
Yeah, so your name will be on the
Okay, thank you. Okay. Hiya.
Yep.
Now.
Yeah.
Okay, not focus
Hey.
yet. Okay. Again.
Hi, how
yeah.
are you? Good job on graduating 5 years of Trinity College.
Thank you.
And say hi to Finn as well.
And Finn.
Hi, congrats.
No, you're not in yet. No, you're not in yet.
Yeah, you're in
hi.
yet.
Congrats on graduating.
Thank you.
Hey, Liam, say hi.
Say hi. Oh, that's a video.
It's a fancy college.
Nice.
You all here to our public theatre this afternoon. We are absolutely delighted to have you here today. To our lovely conference ceremony. It's so nice to see you all looking so fine and lovely. It's great. My name is Lorraine, and if I might go through some small little housekeeping things before we get started. The first of which is, should we need to leave the building for any reason, we have our main exit down the back of the hall here, and also an emergency exit to my right hand side here, framed by lovely Erica. Thank you. And secret doors. On our gallery then also, should you need to leave, Jamie is there on my right hand side and will show you down to, oh my goodness, we're doing our best here, let's test fashion, that was fabulous. So if you're going down the right hand side, just watch yourself on those stairs, they are a little bit rickety. For those of you on the gallery on the left, there's a secret door there just behind you, so you can go through that way if needs be. So if we do have to leave for any reason, if you could just all kind of do so nice and calmly, we'll gather out in the front square, find the Camp Neil. We'll rejoin with all our friends and family and just make sure that we have everybody accounted for. Is that okay? Perfect, thank you. I was delighted to see some of you scanning our fabulous QR codes, and that will bring you to our website, which has a list of all the graduates we're expecting for our winter season. It also has an explanation of the ceremony itself, kind of about the history and the tradition and some of the terminology as well. So, and it also gives a lovely lovely little bit of history on our fabulous organ, which was, I was going to say reupholstered, not reupholstered. It was redone anyway a couple of years back, just before COVID, so we're delighted to have that, and Mark as well, who has done some fabulous playing for us as well today. So that's just kind of a little momentum for yourself. If you want to download it, please feel free to do so, and it's just nice to have. And if you haven't scanned the code, they're dipped out there in various places, so you can grab it. I'm going to then just draw my attention then to you, our candidates. This is your special day, as I said earlier, and we're so delighted to have you. So I want to just give you a little bit of an orientation for the ceremony itself. So I just have one question then. Has anybody been at a commencement ceremony or been conferred here already?
To the Public Theatre here in Trinity College. My name is Neville Cox, I'm the registrar here, and it's my huge pleasure to welcome you to this extremely important day. I'd like, if I may, just to say a couple of thank yous before we start. First of all, you'll appreciate that these events don't take place just by themselves. There's a very hard-working team that runs these ceremonies, and so on my behalf, I'm sure I'd like to thank our team, the young Jamie there, we have Erica who's looking through the parchments, and it's extraordinarily very good. Thank you so much. The second cohort of people I'd like to thank, this may be unorthodox, but I'd like to thank our guests. First of all, thank you for coming along. It's very special that you're here. But more importantly, you're here for a reason. You're here because you are parents and the siblings, the partners, the friends of our candidates. And in that regard, you play the critical role of representing their support community. And the simple reality is nobody achieves anything by themselves, but all dependent on the community that supports us. And I can't know exactly what it is that you have done to bring this day about. But I'm guessing that for many of you, you funded the adventure. And perhaps during COVID, you welcomed back into the family home children whom you rather hoped to moved out, and allowed your homes to be turned into sort of virtual classrooms and exam venues. But more importantly than that, because, as I'll mention shortly, what's happened here has been a long-term adventure to bring our candidates to this day. You were there with them on that adventure. I think especially perhaps of parents who have the job of worry. And I'm sure for many of you, you were the person who gave a hug when it was most needed, or gave a supportive word when it was most needed. Or in particular, you were the person who said to a candidate when they felt that perhaps the challenge was too much for them, you just said, "You've got this, you can do it." And from my experience as an educator, this is pretty much the most important thing that anyone can do for any student, simply to restore self-belief. And I want you to know that Trinity doesn't take your role for granted at all. It fully acknowledges the debt that we owe to you. And so, even if you've never been on the campus before, or never been in this building, I want just to assure you that you are very much part of Trinity's community because of what you've done for our candidates. And so, however unorthodox this is, I'd like to start by asking our candidates to express your gratitude to your personal communities of support here today. And so to you, to our candidates. I'm sure this is a day that you've been looking forward to for a long time. In many cases, this is probably a day that you must have thought would never have happened. And it is great fun. It's great fun. We're dressed up formally. There's going to be photos. There's going to be celebrations. I'm sure many of you are going out afterwards. And that's the way it should be. It should be joyful and it should be a celebration. But from Trinity's perspective, it's much more than this, because in this event, we see the fulfillment of our mission. In other words, these events go absolutely to the heart of what Trinity stands for. And so in a very few minutes, I just want to explain why that's the case. Why, from Trinity's perspective, this isn't just a bit of crack. This is history being made. And it is solemn, and it is emotional, as well as being profoundly joyful. And in order to understand why this is the case, I want you to bear in mind three really important background factors that mightn't be obvious. The first is this. This is absolutely not a rite of passage. It was never inevitable that you'd be here. And sometimes I think perhaps people think this. Last year I was always going to go to college. I was always going to get a degree, I was always going to graduate. That's not the case. Objectively, what has happened is extraordinary. And the fact that something happens regularly doesn't make it any less extraordinary. And if you have the capacity within you, I really urge you to feel proud of yourself, because you genuinely have done something extraordinary. So that's the first background factor. The second background factor is similar. What we are not going to do over the next hour is graduate a bunch of students from computer science and a bunch of BROS Ed students. Rather, we're graduating you and you and you and each one individually. We haven't got one big ceremony, in other words. We've got roughly 135 individual ceremonies. So, and Sam, I'm sorry that you're sitting there, so you're going to take one for the team. But if you were the only person who was here, then there might be less people here, but I promise you from Trinity's perspective, it would be equally morally significant. This is absolutely the truth. We don't deal in groups. In this community, we deal with individuals. So it's each individual one of you that's being celebrated. And this leads to the third factor. The reason why that's the case is because this is not the equivalent of a school prize-giving evening. We're not simply saying these people have done extraordinarily well academically, though you have. Rather, this is a celebration of the whole of your individual journey to this day, because you all have had different journeys. And so back to our guests, you're not here for the group, you're here for the individual, because you've known their individual journey. So let's think about your individual journeys to this day. Right from the start, there are differences. For some of you, you may be the fourth or fifth generation in your family to go to Trinity. Wonderful tradition. But more wondrously still, some of you, you may be the first person in your family or even in your community to go to a university. And what an extraordinary beacon you are going to be. You all had the shared experience, the dreadful shared experience of COVID. This awfulness of being sent home and having the stuff of being a student ripped from you and replaced with loneliness and isolation. But it's the other stuff, the stuff that we don't know, that makes up your journey that we celebrate today. And some of you, this journey will have involved really, really deep challenges. So some of you will have faced horrific bereavement along the way. And some of you will have faced awful challenges in relation to physical and mental health. Some of you will have seen transitions in your identity and all the existential angst that generates. Some of you will have had your hearts broken. Some of you will have met the love of your life. Some of you will have met the love of your life and then had your heart broken. But all of these things, these are the real things that make up the individual journeys of human beings. And especially, I think, some of you will have had really dark days of self-doubt and imposter syndrome and anxiety, where you thought, I'm not going to make it. I'm not good enough. I've made the wrong choice. Those awful days when we doubt ourselves. But here's the brilliant thing. You're all here today. And I think this is so wonderful and so worthy of celebration. Because you haven't just shown extraordinary academic wins. You've taken on a journey which has presented you with challenges, and you've shown the strength of character to bring it home successfully. And from Trinity's perspective, this is wondrous. This is why we celebrate today. But it's also all about how this fulfills our mission. All great universities have as their mission to pursue truth and knowledge and to make the world a better place as a result. But we only really have two ways we can do this. Through our research, obviously, but more impactfully and more amorphously through our graduates. And this is why today is history making from Trinity's perspective. Because you become our lived mission. You are people of brilliance, but people of character, who will and can go out into whatever field you find yourself in and change the world for the better. And how wonderful that is. You are, as it were, the university's gift to the world. You are the living embodiment of our mission into the future. And it is a noble mission. And that explains why the ceremony is the way it is. Because looking from the outside, or indeed, frankly, looking from the inside, it may seem slightly bizarre that this ceremony will take the same form as is applied at these ceremonies for the last 300 years. And it will take place in Latin. And you could be forgiven for saying that this is the epitome of Trinity trying to be a bit Trinity and really love and own stuff. But it's not. There's a massive symbolic resonance to this. Because what we're going to do, by holding this ceremony in accordance with ancient rituals and in an ancient language, is to place your journey and your achievement where it should be placed, in history. We want to link you to the graduates of centuries ago, and I hope centuries yet to come. People who, like you, had dreams, faced challenges, overcame them, brought the journey home completely, and then went out to change the world for the better. So how does this ancient ceremony operate? Well, we're present at a meeting of the University Senate. The Senate is the highest governing body in Trinity literally. It's headed by a three-person body called the Caput, the head, and in the centre the Chancellor, today the Pro-Chancellor, Professor Eddie McGovern. The Caput processes in, the Chancellor welcomes us in Latin, and then I read in Latin the minutes of the last meeting of the Senate, which was a ceremony from lunchtime.
Salvete candidate et candidati, signores junioresque. Salvete hospites undique hic benignissimque congregate et congregati, comitia fiat in nomine Dei. Amen.
Comitia Amalia Sanctificatis Doctor Postperiana, ab Dei vicesimo quater Novembris, millesimo secunda vicesimo tertio. Pro-Cancelarius, Ignatius Thomas McGovern, Magister and Archivist, Pro-Prepositus, Michael
Committees et gradum super nomina designatum appetatur. Ego fide me testor ex Monteo toti academicae unumquamque candidatarum nominatum, unumquamque candidatorum nominatum Iscartis, omnia exercitia ad gradum ad quem unumquaeque vel unumquisque et spirac peritentia, Prolegibus academicis rite capitalis pro cancelari totaeque universitas. Presento vobis hasca filias meas, hosca filios meus, tam doctrina comaribus civilis et virentes, ut et tantur ad gradum baccalaureatus senatus.
Abraham, Alan, Addison Smith, Ashton, Edibus Sui, Michael Ayomide, Akintolo, Turlo Dorian Sola, Aragones, Darren Miguel, Bataguna, Sonia. In Alexander, Joseph Jace, Calpe Sankert, Cassie Miodeji.
Pushpa, congratulations. Finn, congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Chris, congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations. Daisy, congratulations. Good. Good. Gradum munus mihi demandatum est, et vobis in manus tradum, as cartas honorarias. Accipite illas ergo, Juvenes insignes, honorificas quidem in presenti, hominis vero Fausti felicusque in futurum. Ego toratade mihi concessa, amenovos ad respondendum quaestioni in artibus.
Koshik, Tanne, Cabinet, David, King, Abel.
Presento tibi juvenes belli meritos et belli meritas, cartis honorari seodonandus, quod studiis academicis rite completis inter il Signore relate et relati sunt. Et presento vobis asque filias meas, asque filios meus, quoscio esse tam doctrina comaribus, viles invidentis, ut et natantur ad gradu magisteri inscientis completatoribus.
Abraham Allen, Arch Liam Daniel, Bortjev Bayer, Doyle Harry, Farrell Oshim, Gloucester Yannick Widger. Gupta Sanil, Henry Alana, Howard Matthew, Kutana Stefan, Yakslan Finn Alexander.
Vobis noveles juvenes, as cartas honorarias, libens in manus tradum. Ego, autoritate, dicis confessa, amino, os, etiatum, conscientis, computatoribus.
Haushik Tamye, Hannah David, P. John Peter, Jovan
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tommy, congratulations. Thank you. David, congratulations. John, congratulations. Neil, congratulations. And James, congratulations. Vobis, Noeles, Juvenes, Ascartas, Honorarias, Lebens in Manus Trada. Ego, Tortati mihi, Concessa, Mittavos ad incipiendum in scientis computatoriis.
O'Doherty, John. O'Gorrick, Adam. O'Coley, Nixon. Partridge, Gregory.
在半边山的海，海半边的山，我在山与海之间，在我心中的你，你眼里的我，牵挂着无数思念。山有小黄花作伴，海有小船停靠的岸，夜里星星在眨眼，人又不觉得相